months ago, I traveled to New Jersey because I was going there to be with my friend Linda for her premiere of Healing Waters film, which is my first feature-length film. It was screening at a festival there, and coincidentally, Linda had another biography film that was made about her some years back, which also screened at the same festival. I had a chance to review that film, and I felt like it wasn't very complete. So basically, what I did was I thought, someday, if I ever learn how to make films, I'm going to make a new biography, a real story about Linda, that she will be happy, that will exist for her legacy. And so I did. I made one. It took a while. It took about 5 years to make this project. And we had a great, absolutely couldn't have been better premiere. We flew out. We had a pretty full audience and great Q&A after. And now we're taking the film around the world to different festivals, and hopefully at some point we'll see it on TV somewhere. So after the premiere, I decided to sit down and talk to Linda and see what she thought. So here's what she said. This is another edition of the Director's Viewfinder. I am sitting here the day after our premiere of Healing Waters film, which is a biography of photographer Linda Troeller. And I'm sitting here with Linda. So, Linda, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling energized. I felt the emotion that the film brought to the audience, and I absorbed the clapping and the silence and then the clapping, I'm very pleased that it touched the audience.
Can you tell me, what was it like leading up to this day of the premiere?
It was a couple of years, we might say. But the couple of weeks beforehand, I was very nervous about the idea that a big chunk of my life had been passed, and it was all packaged into this amazing film. And like, what's left, and it was kind of scary, and I wondered what people would think, but I wasn't frightened that they would think something negative of me. It was just that my sense of myself was like, well, there I am on the screen, and what am I now? And then as soon as I saw it being screened, all of that went away. Mm-hmm. It's like, yes, I want to share this information, and yes, there's more to do. There are more festivals. We got tremendous feedback from the people who attended and the interns, and the sort of whole feeling of the festival felt like, quote, a festival, like it was a reward. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I know for the premiere, Diana, who played you for many scenes in the film, was able to come, and it would be the first time that you two had met each other.
Yeah, so that was another hurdle, was to re-see myself. And Derek, the director-producer, made really wonderful efforts to find actors and actresses that I could identify with. And I don't think he even knew that I had that color red hair. In fact, the little girl had green eyes. I thought he matched that up really well, so that when I was meeting the older actress, I was I felt a kind of camaraderie instead of a kind of, uh, I felt a kind of intimacy. She was so friendly, and she enjoyed playing the parts, and I enjoyed playing my life. So it was pretty exciting.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I know she mentioned to me that she was very excited to meet you as well, and it turns out that she had a lot of similarities. She's also a model. She has a career working with photographers, and she's also now doing her own photography work. So,
Yeah,
um,
that was something you brought out in the film. This idea, and people mentioned about my experience as a model for other photographers and what I learned from them, and then actually seeing myself on the screen and me becoming a photographer and working in front of the camera and behind the camera is a very powerful tool.
mhm. Now I noticed during the Q&A yesterday that certainly one of the more dominant themes in the film is the female vision. And one of the younger college students, woman, who was asking a question about how do women see themselves in photography with the current digital age and social media and those kinds of things. Um, Maybe you could talk about that again.
Yeah, I tried to explain that because of all these various venues, there's lots of opportunity, but it doesn't matter. There's still more and more people, and there's more and more opportunities. And my advice is just, is to focus in um, on something that, to find that vision that's yours, and stick with it until it's used its place, and then maybe move on. But that it's a entering the photography world at this time is really requires focus. That's just an absolute. And you can take that through all the different mediums. But like anything else, it does get diluted unless you find the right anchor for your work.
Hmm. And what about the vulnerabilities of the feminist vision in social media and things like that?
Yeah, I think social media has, especially now, has a kind of it has trends. So there was the trend where male vision was really getting in our way, and male abusers and things like that were very difficult to work among. At the same time, since the 70s, really, women have been focusing on stories that aren't generally covered, that that they're awakening to about themselves, and this is the power of now, that we all have a chance, with the right technology, to tell our story, and we won't be blocked by certain men, certain places, certain editors. You can find ways to make yourself heard.
Mm-hmm. And in many ways, social media is also a reflection of, you see a lot of sort of self portrait work or self documenting. Um, and I know that's something that you've explored a lot throughout your life and your photography. So, um, what do you think about that kind of work in social media environments?
I'm pretty excited about it, because the beginning of the selfie movement was just sort of snap and go. Snap with my
Mm.
friends, snap the latest meal and with my hand in it, snap my nails, kind of very personalized and sloppy, and just catch as catch can. And then it got a little bit more sophisticated, um, and then it got narcissistic. And when I was starting out with my self portraiture, I was really an early person using it to discover my woman centeredness. Our bodies, ourselves had just come out. So it was a psychological tool for me and an artistic tool and an unusual one. There were only a few of us exploring in this method. So I feel grateful that I found out that I could work my way through some of life's challenges with the self-portraits and also experience joy and evocative moments. And I think that that's just a part of a lesson that this film shows, and that we need to impress on women who want to use the self-portrait, that it is really a picture-taking activity, that it really is something of depth, and that the accumulation of pictures, they can learn about themselves besides just, celebrating friendships. So I think that it's a positive thing, and more people are writing PhD papers on the role of selfie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very good. So the other people that I know, there's more of an older crowd that is going to be resonating with the film, because some of the things, how the film resolves, you mentioned. In fact, my own mom texted me this morning, and she's in her 70s, and she said that she was just in tears watching you walk off into the water at the end. So, ageism is something that is coming into play, especially in some of the feminist themes. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think first I was a little frightened. It was, Georgia O'Keeffe, no, Georgia, excuse me, the woman who wrote the book A Room of Her Own. I can't think of her name. At the end of one of her books, the woman to a lighthouse or something walks into the sea and never, it's the end of her.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, quite a few people do that, to just disappear. And so that worried me a little bit. And I love the way is, as an editor, the way you capture that last moment where I'm saying, will I look like my mother when I'm 55, 65, 75, 85? And I just lift my hands up at just a lilt, and it ends. So it's at a high point. It's not me going lower, disappearing. It's like that. This little gesture, I thought, made all the difference, of the viewer wondering, is she just feeling like it's all over, she's done it, and it's time. It's so hard to be in the photo world. It takes so much energy and passion and all those things, and it just is like, no, I'm still here. I'm still here, but I'm floating here. And the idea of using that poem at the end, I think, was a premonition for the two of us, because in the last, since we shot it, I think 2 summers ago, there's just been more focus on, during COVID, people letting their hair, women especially my age, letting their hair grow out, trying to define ourselves. I just read something today where people say, "Oh, you look really great for your age." You look great. Authenticating that at any age we can be beautiful. We can have a beautiful soul. We can choose so many ways to be. And so that film leaves the way you edited it with the poem, leaves this option that I will have more time, and who knows what that will be. And I'm back in the very place where I started as a child. So I think and also the music goes down and the sound goes down, and we're taking the viewer, to this place, which is yet a new challenge for me, and we don't know what will happen, but it's in the water, and it's going to flow.
Yeah, very good. So, what are your hopes for the film for the future?
I have a good feeling that it's going to be picked up by a distributor, and that people from other cultures will also see the film, besides Americans. Many of them are much more forward-thinking, and I think that we'll have a good feedback back here. I think that this film will be aligned with young people and older people. People that, we see that older people have, due to the expenses in America and inflation, are going back to work, getting back into society when they should be maybe playing golf or something. But they have to function well in society. And I think this film is about, the adventure of your life, of a person's life. And I hope that young people will be inspired, and collegial people will say, wow, not bad, She lived well. And, I'm looking back on it and I think, I had a great opportunity to have fall on this water concept. And more, it's become valuable, more than ever. Mm-hmm. And these mineral waters, which I narrowed it down to, are now sacred. I mean, they were sacred when people came across them in an oasis, and they are like, they have our DNA, our earliest minerals in them, protozoas, everything. And so I think this film also reflects the idea of the soul, and that it flows into the future. So those are some of the things I hope people take home with them.
Okay. Final thoughts? Any final thoughts?
It could never have happened without Derek, the director, and filmmakers' pursuit of getting to the bottom of this story. And, a couple of years of showing me in different positions of life, and being willing to really follow the art path with this film. And I think it will break boundaries. I think it will be able to catch a variety of viewers. And for that, I'm very grateful. Yeah. And to have this legacy,
Mm-hmm. Great. Well, thank you, Linda. So that's it. You'll be able to catch the film at festivals. Feel free to check the website, healingwatersfilm.com, for updates on screenings and future distribution. Hey, you've reached the end of the podcast. Thanks for listening. I'm so glad you're here. I would love to have you sign up to my mailing list. I will be publishing all kinds of really interesting content, including future episodes of this podcast. I'd really love for you all to survive a day on a film set. That's why I created 11 steps on how to survive on a film set. And you can get it for free in your inbox when you sign up. So go right ahead, sign up, let your friends know, people who love films, making films. It's for all of you. So thanks again for listening in, and I'll see you next week on The Director's Viewfinder.